A warm welcome to my channel. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe my channel for more videos. So today I am going to discuss about lead toxicity. In this we are going to study about properties of lead, method of exposure, route of exposure, absorption of lead, pathophysiology of lead toxicity, symptoms and treatment of acute lead toxicity, and last one is symptoms, treatment and diagnosis of chronic lead toxicity. Now coming to the first one, that is properties of a lead. Lead has no biological functions and it is a ubiquitous in nature. And also lead is exist in a two form, that is inorganic lead and organic lead. Next coming to the method of exposure. Lead is a natural occurring material most commonly used in industrial use. So the primary source of lead exposure is by lead painting. It is the most common exposure in children due to the ingestion of a painting chips from old buildings. And next source is drinking water. And next is lead which are coated on a toys. Whenever these toys are chewed by a children, the lead is entered into a systemic circulation of a children and causes the lead toxicity. And gasoline, and also it is caused by the illegal manufactured alcohols. Next one is inhalation of a lead from the motor vehicles, and last one is the industry. Whenever the acidic food and beverages which includes tomato juice, fruit juice, carbonate beverages and pickles, when these are packed or stored improper, then the lead will get dissolved in this and this leads to the lead poisoning. Just now we discussed that lead poisoning in the children is most common due to the ingestion of a painting chips from a old building. Lead carbonate, which is in a white color, and lead oxide, which is in a red color. These two are the most common type of a painting used as the exterior and interior house paintings. Due to this, in 1978, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, that is CPSC, is banned this painting, which contains more than 0.06% of a lead. And also lead poisoning is mostly caused due to the when we use discard automobiles batteries, which is made up of wood and vulcanite, which is made up of minerals and rubbers, and also which is used as a fuel. Now coming to the next one, that is the route of exposure. The major route of absorption of a lead are from the gastrointestinal tract and respiration system. Coming to the fourth one, that is absorption of a lead. Gastrointestinal tract absorption of a lead varies with the age to age. This is because due to the blood circulation and perfusion. Where the perfusion is high, there is a faster absorption. In adults, it is the 10%, whereas in the children, the absorption of a lead is the 40%. And next is the pathophysiology of lead toxicity. Just remember that whenever the lead is entered into our body, it will replace the calcium in a bones, and due to this there is a formation of a lines on a bones. Just see this. When lead is entered into the body, it has a high affinity of SH group. This will go and bind to the calcium activated proton 150 times than calcium. This will make the replace of calcium in the bones. Thus there is a formation of a lines on your bones. Coming to the next one, that is acute lead toxicity, signs and symptoms. In a blood, it causes the hematological effects. It includes hypochromic monocytic anemia, means the body has a low level of RBC, and hemolytic anemia means the own will causes the reduction of RBC, are called hemolysis, and the RBC carries oxygen to all parts of body. So if we have a lower than the normal amount of RBC, it causes the anemia, both combinedly called hemolytic anemia. And in renal effect, it causes renal colic. Colic means a pain due to the kidney dysfunction. And next one is a damage of a kidney and interstitial nephritis. Next one, it is a kidney disorder. In this, there is a space between the tubules inside the kidney. Due to this, there is a improper function of a kidney and purification of a kidney. And next one is the alteration of a uric acid excretion. Thus there is a result of a formation of a hyperuricemia and causes a gout. Next, coming to the nervous system. It causes the encephalopathy in the children and also the mental confusion. Next is the reproductive systems. It causes abortion and increased number of abnormal sperm and also decrease the sperm count. In a bones, it causes the formation of a lines on your bones. And coming to GIT effects, it causes anorexia. Anorexia means lack of appetite, and also it causes the abdominal pain, constipation and vomiting. Now coming to the treatment for the acute lead toxicity. If we ingested the lead, we have to wash the stomach with MgSO4 or NaSO4. If it is skin contact, we have to wash with kerosene for 15 minutes. The antidote is EDTA and penicillamine. And last one is a chronic lead toxicity. It is also called as a plumbism. We will see now signs and symptoms of a chronic lead toxicity. It causes the hemolytic anemia and also lead lines on a bone and wrist drop and a foot drop. And also it causes the encephalopathy and blue lines on a gums. Coming to the diagnosis. When we do urine test, in that we will find lead, that is a lead in a urine, and also we will observe the lines on your bones. And also when we go for the blood test, in that we will observe the punctuate basophilia, and we can easily see blue lines on your gums. Now coming to the treatment of a chronic lead toxicity. First one is the EDTA plus BAL. This EDTA will make the complex with the lead and thus easily eliminated from our kidneys. Next one is the dimercaprol, which is a universal antidote. This will remove the intracellular lead and it is a lipid soluble drug. We must administer this dimercaprol through only intramuscular route. We should not administer through IV route. This causes the fat embolism. Fat embolism means release of a fat globules in the blood circulations. And next one is it is a chelator. It is a first chelator used in the encephalopathy in the children's, and which is easily cross the blood-brain barrier. And next drug is the D-penicillamine, which is effective in the children, the level of 22 to 40 micrograms per 100 ml. Last one is the dimercaprosuccinic acid. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good day.